That's fine.
What are all those medals?
I'll never tell. At least not while the sun's shining.
Crotch rot. I'm gonna slurp my lifer's juice out of my own gum.
Yeah, I guess I should have gotten shots beforehand.
I love that scene. Despite the idiocy of the film itself, that is a great Clint Eastwood movie. Big fan. So good morning, everybody. Happy Monday. We survived another weekend. Woohoo! You know, whenever I say the word survive, I need to say it like I do in my outros for the commercial break. I hope we survived. While we're here, go ahead, Bill. Get on camera. I'm going to introduce Bill to the audience. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Bill Skywatcher. He's our boss over at KGRA, and he's going to be leading us in this week on all the shows in the mornings, or what's going to happen here?
Most of the shows, let's just say.
Most of the shows. But I wanted everybody to meet you. This is the guy who made everything happen. Him and Dawn, and changed my life forever. Let's hope for the better, right?
Do me a favor. Next time we bring myself on screen, I need to have my morning coffee from Morning Coffee with Gerry.
Okay. Okay, note to self. Bill's kind of bitchy in the morning. Okay, I made a note.
Note to self means I have to remind him later.
Yeah.
Well, listen, it's a pleasure to be here with all of you and the people that are watching and listening now on KGRA. So welcome to KGRA Digital Broadcasting, and looking forward to great content that you're going to be providing for the network. So thank you.
Yeah, good luck with that one.
Anima and Martine and everybody else that's going to be part of this. Chris, Keith, Danny. I hope I'm not missing anyone, but if I did, and all of you as well.
Thanks a lot, Bill. Appreciate it, man.
Have a great show, guys.
Thanks, man.
Bye.
See you, Bill.
All right. See you backstage. So Bill will be now supervising the show, making sure that I don't say the word fuck too often. I don't think he cares.
3 minutes.
I waited to drop my
F-bomb. I know. The record was like, 10 seconds?
Yeah, something like that.
You opened the show with the F-bomb.
Oh, yeah. Well, once again, the opening titles actually save us from YouTube, from ganking us, because they're just long enough. All we got to make it is 30 seconds. And all the openings are 45 to 1 minute long, 45 seconds to 1 minute. So I promoted the show out this morning, and hopefully we'll get up to our normal Monday morning numbers, which is anywhere between 20 and 30 listeners at once, and 245 by the end of the show. But you guys are awesome. Deeply appreciated. Who's all here today? Let's see. Mexican Iron Man. Yeah. Look at that. Look at that. $1.99. Happy birthday to the great Shinatsky. And of course, I sent Shinatsky, because we're friends in real life, and I sent him a happy birthday around 1, 2 o'clock this morning, because I saw it, and I'm like, ooh, it's his birthday. And this is my very special happy birthday wish for Shinatsky.
Don't do that. You're such a dick.
I made that banner just for him, because I love him so much. You can go and put the sticker back up. There you go.
Well,
thank you for the super sticker, and thank you for wishing Shinatsky a happy birthday. Shinatsky is a very good friend of this channel, and usually a member of our panel on the weekends. Just a great guy. I love him. And Mexican Iron Man, for you, I'm going to give you what is a good one? What is a good one? Here it is. This one's just for you, Mexican Iron Man.
You just made the list.
There you go. And we got another one last night that you told me I need to do. You don't want to be on my list. That's the one I want to get. I want to get that video from the Terminalist.
And
Then you
this,
get an
this
Alf
chat
one
is
just for
No,
Mexican
the
Iron
exact
Man.
phrasing is don't get on my list. That's what he tells him.
Yeah, don't get on my list.
Don't get on my list.
Anima.
Before
is
we,
there.
what's that?
Oh, hi,
Look who's here,
Heidi's in
Anima.
chat. Greetings to Vienna.
Oh, Heidi's here.
Yeah.
Hi, Heidi. Guten Morgen. Anyway,
No.
Not morning in Vienna.
I
sorry.
intentionally speak German without an accent just to annoy Anima.
Jesus fucking Christ! Don't get me started this way.
Look who's
Don't even
cussing.
get me started.
Look who's
No, I cuss.
cussing.
That's why you love me.
I do. I love you. Monkey Jubas is here. Hello, Monkey Jubas. Thank you. Come again. Alex Moore is here. D. Bud Martin. Dr. Shadow Dragon's here. Good morning. Penny is here. That's Danny's mom. Joseph Dredd. You know the thing I like about Joseph Dredd? If you had a gay relationship with him, you'd be full of dread.
Oh my God.
Heidi Marks is here. Heidi Marks. And of course, my good friend Jacob the Critic. Jacob here in Springfield, Missouri. Good friend of mine. I love telling that story of just surprising him at Walmart one day. Just because I saw him, I keyed in on him, and I went the wrong way into the line, into the self-check area, and my eyes were beaded on him. I wasn't going to take my eyes off him, and he's like talking to some customer, and he turns and he sees me, and he goes, oh. And I went back at it. It was funny. Anyway, you had to be there. Fuck you.
This comment from David Martin is so true.
You need an Alf clip. No, there's no kidding, D-Bud, because my deep and meaningful relationship with Mexican Iron Man, I really should shit on him a little bit because he sure doesn't hesitate in shitting on me. He does not. He goes, how many shows are you doing a week now? 40?
Feels like it sometimes.
Oh, man. So I will tell you that behind the scenes, because my art career, I do have one, has been suffering a little bit. So I've been talking to the guys trying to get Monday. I want to switch military Monday to Tuesdays, but I don't know if it'll happen. But definitely Keith and I have talked about switching Thursday so I can have Thursday off so I can focus on my artwork. And even though I've considered, just for shits and giggles, to do live streams just for watching me do artwork, but I don't know if I want to do that because I don't talk when I'm drawing. I don't do a lot of talking. So that's why, like Joe. Hey, speaking of Joe.
Hi, Joe.
Talk about the devil. There he is. Yep.
I'm sending you an invite, Joe. Wait a minute.
So Joe does one, and he actually has somebody join him when he does drawing shows. So they can talk because he knows what I'm talking about. Because when you're focused in doing artwork, the last thing you want to give a shit about is saying something clever.
Yes, I vote for this show.
Jacob, I like that title. I'm a big fan of those.
By switching Thursday to Friday, we get an alliteration. Fantastic Friday.
Yep, Fantastic Friday instead of
That's
Fantastic.
a nice side effect.
Because I like alliterations. I'm funny about that. I'm like Stan Lee in that way, or whoever did all that shit at Marvel after Stan Lee, of getting characters with names that start with the same letters. So I really enjoy that. And so if we switch to Friday, which it looks like we're going to do, I'll at least get Thursday off to do artwork. And but I would like to have Monday off too to do my artwork and do military stuff on Tuesdays. But look, Chris just took a new job working with Apple, and it's going to make it next to impossible, I think. So it might not happen. And I'm sure it'll cause a headache for Bill over at KGRA for a day when I fix everything. Because I do the thumbnails. I like doing thumbnails. I think Bill likes my thumbnails. I'm very good at that. And look, I've been doing graphic design for 30 years. Art my whole life. Graphic design for 30 years. And here in Springfield, for ACR and Alley, I did. You couldn't drive through Springfield, Missouri without running into billboards I designed for clients. And I designed a lot of J-Mark, did a lot of stuff for Murney and Associates. What's his name that owns the limousines? J. Howard Fisk. I designed all their marketing material. I won several Addy Awards for my work, including for Fisk. I designed all their limousine and everything. I like doing that. I miss it. That was good buddy back in the 2000s. And then that president that took office killed my career. So I've been freelance since 2009. Somebody added him. And then, there we go. There's Joe.
I think we might have simultaneously clicked that.
Doing good, man. How are you guys?
Fish belly.
Hi, John.
So, yep, everybody is.
And Martine, what the fuck are you talking about?
What is Martine talking about?
I don't know.
Because Gerry said he loves doing thumbnails, so it's a very specific manicurist.
Oh, okay.
He only does your thumbs.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah.
And there it is.
Yeah.
It's probably funny in Venezuela.
Or in Mexico.
Got lost.
Nothing is funny in Mexico.
Congratulations, John, by the way.
Thank you.
Oh, what did you congratulate him for? What did I miss?
Oh, you're not a sports ball guy. His team is going to the Super Bowl for the third time in the last 5 years. So
Kansas City? Who's going?
Yep. Kansas City and the Philadelphia Eagles will be facing off. The Andy Reid Bowl. Andy Reid's old team versus his new team.
Now, you say I'm not a sports guy. The fact is, sports is my life.
Uh-huh.
I was as much a sports nerd as I was a nerd.
What made you give up on the sports part?
Athletes ruined it.
Yeah, they are kind of jerks.
It happened somewhere between 97 and 2008, that 10, 11-year mark.
Mm-hmm.
I got sick of athletes acting like prima donnas.
Yeah.
And
that sucks. Yeah.
And then, it got worse after 2012 when all the athletic organizations became woke, and I got sick of that shit.
Yeah.
I refuse to support anybody that's woke. They don't get my money.
Right. I understand
Amen.
that. Well, they don't live in the same, the prima donna thing. You know how we talk about Hollywood doesn't live in the same world we do. They don't either. These are guys that have been coddled because of their athletic prowess most of their lives. I remember I watched when the Giants went to the Super Bowl at the turn of the century. There was a guy named Kerry Collins who I loved. I've got his signature up on the wall. He had a great early career, and then he fell into a bottle, and he went to the worst place you could go, New Orleans, for that.
It's almost like having an addiction and living in some place like Las Vegas.
Right? Yeah. And then, listen to you. I hear where you went there.
I am a total dick, and Penny knows what I'm doing there.
This is the thing.
We have a bridge.
All of a sudden, after he had fallen into the bottle and his career was destroyed, all of a sudden he's quarterbacking the Giants into the Super Bowl. And I watched him in an interview, and the interviewer asked him, what was the difference? What turned you around? He said, well, all the credit's got to go to my wife. And the interviewer said, well, why is that? And he said, well, she's the first person in my life that told me no.
There you go.
I can't do that.
Yep.
They live in a different world.
These guys come right out of school with $1 million or more contract. Mm-hmm. It's just unacceptable. That's too much money.
For a young guy, yes, I agree. Yeah. It ruins a lot of them.
In the military, what we refer to us as young, dumb, and full of cum.
Yes, sir.
And
they
just a bunch of fucking monkeys out of a cage.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Yep. And I admit it, man. I was a monkey out of a cage a lot. I played drums in a punk band. We traveled up from New York down to Florida on the I-95, doing college and smaller gigs, local bars, and man. It's like I had a different woman to women as a drummer. Someone says lead singers get all the pussy, and I'm like, yeah, right.
Right? Yeah.
I saw our lead singer go to bed
the lead
alone
singers
many
don't.
a time.
It's the drummers and the bartenders, man. So
Am I allowed to give Monkey his video?
Yes, if you would like to.
I would.
I'll be right back.
Monkey Jeebus gets his backdoor video.
Front door team and backdoor team.
Scan Dog's all about the back door, but quick question, when has splitting the party ever worked?
There we go.
Like doing that.
Good morning, Dread Roberts. Good to see you, my friend. we're almost into the 20s now, but I think we're going to go ahead and start the show. Hopefully I won't run into lag with my microphone. If we don't get to do the slideshow, just know we will have Anima's notes, her infamous notes.
Yep. 2 pages, 2 episodes.
To talk about.
I tried to keep it short.
That's what she said. So coffee. And that's what she said.
Yep. I say that a lot.
It's true. She really, really does. So let's start this over. Let's get this going. Terminal list. And this is episode 7. We are actually, technically, I kind of look at episode 7 and 8 almost like one show. Because it really does a good job of what's the word I'm looking for? Summing up. It's a great summation, the 2 episodes, and they really go together.
I mean, 7
can you take that
up
graphic
right where
off?
6 ends. So
can you take the graphic off?
technically, the last 3 episodes are like a movie, like one.
Anybody? Thank you. So here we go, guys. We will start. There we go. So, opening scene for episode 7. We got Reese outside of his house. Go ahead, hon.
Yeah, he's on the run. We hear sirens in the background. They're looking for him because
he
is
is
a terrorist
the
now.
most wanted man in America because what he did is classified as a terrorist act when he set off that formed explosion
in the middle of San Francisco.
And it was a directed charge. It's a shaped charge. It's fired from the floral van into the main, played by what's his name, Kai, whatever his name is,
Jai Courtney,
into his vehicle. And it was a really good scene, I got to be honest. But everybody was like really stressing about this. His friends, everybody that knew about it was like, you really shouldn't do that. You got to make sure there's no people around when you do it. But he felt that it was secure enough to do, and he sets it off. And the minute he did that, he became a terrorist.
It's also, if I were to rate the kills from his list, this is my least favorite because he just walks up and shoots him. The others are sort of personal.
Other people have said
this one is just cold.
Because it should have been more personal than that.
Yeah.
He actually kills a security guard in a more cool way than
we'll come to that.
Jai Courtney. And we'll get to that in episode 8 because that's one of my. It's one of those moments where even I went, oh. Anima saw me do it. I've watched it multiple times and I still go, oh god damn, oh.
I saw it for the first time last night and I was like, the fuck, so cool.
So, but anyway, so he's on the run. He's on the lam. Cops are driving around looking for him. And where does he go? Back to his house. And there's the cop cars going behind him, looking for him. And anybody who watches these last 2 episodes that think that Chris Pratt cannot act, still, you're full of shit.
Yeah. No
this
doubt.
is some of the best acting I'd seen in a long time. And if he doesn't get nominated for a best actor in a series.
When are the Emmys anyway?
I don't know. I so don't give a shit about the Oscars or the Emmys. The only one I care about is the audience one. What's it called? The People's Choice
Awards. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Those are the only ones I care about because, that's voted in.
Yeah.
Don't hold me to this, but I think they're in March.
Okay.
I'm hoping he gets nominated because he sure as hell deserves it. They'll snub him. They'll snub him because he's
a Christian. Yeah,
because he's not overly Christian. He's like, it's not like I'm crazy, but he's very devout in his faith.
Yeah,
and but anyway, I like the guy a lot, and I love his acting, and he does an absolute astounding job in this role. And yes, you are right, Joe. We have the best chat, and we share that chat with Midnight's Edge, my good friends. And by the way, to interrupt the show, Their explanation of what's going on over at Disney video that came out over the weekend, Andre and Tom, outstanding video. If you go watch that and see what's going on with Star Wars and Disney, great breakdown. Andre knows his shit.
Yeah, he does.
You know, between him, Valiant Renegade, and Culture Casino, some of the best analysis you'll see. And Keith, our own Keith, too. Great analysis of what's going on over there. Go check out that video if you get a chance. Not right this minute, after the show. Don't leave our show.
Right. Don't leave.
So here we go. He's breaking into his house.
And it triggers a vision.
And I think that's half the reason he goes there. Because he knows that being in that house triggers his PTSD and his visions. And like we've already taken note, his visions overlap. And, you know, his flashbacks because of the brain tumor, and, you know, what that drug did to him. But, you know, the cat's out of the bag. We all know what's going on here. We just don't know who all the players are. We know who most of them are. And he's killed most of them. But there's still a couple of names missing from the list. And that's what worked out.
Just one.
Technically, we find out about one of them in this episode. For sure. We confirm who that is.
Yeah, but the one big unknown is Oberon. And
yeah, we're not going to...
We only find out at the end of 8.
Yeah, and we'll find out why Oberon, too, is important. Yeah. So he's walking around the apartment, seeing stuff, looking at things, and always we end up at these windows because that's where the bird died. And the bird, of course, represents both his daughter and him. And the sun is suddenly up, and we're in a flashback.
They are checking out their new home.
Yep. And this is interesting, and I got to pause it every once in a while because I don't want to get ganked by YouTube. We get multi-layered memories. Sometimes it'll be a happy memory. Sometimes it'll be a stressful memory. And that's his brain at work, you know, because it's just so torn right now because of what he's doing. And his brain won't let him enjoy the happy moments for very long before souring it with other memories.
I love that dialogue. How he's talking about setting up his
it's some of the best relationships.
And she's like, no, this is going to be my office. They are so lovely with each other. He's being a dick, but in a funny way, sort of like Gerry. I like that.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's confirmed in this episode, like so many military veterans, we're dicks. Because she calls him a dick at one point. It's fun. It's kind of funny. And Anima was like, so it's not just you. No, most military vets are kind of dicks.
A little. From time to time.
It's our brutal honesty, our bluntness.
Yeah, we have zero tolerance for horse shit. So, yeah.
So now we cut to 15 hours earlier.
And we see a training session on the beach with these huge wooden logs. And this will be important later. Yeah,
the log training, it plays a pivotal role later in the finale.
Yep.
Yeah, you ring that bell anytime.
Yeah. But these things are heavy as shit, and they're being called quitters all the time.
Because joining the SEALs is a volunteer program.
Yeah, and correct me if I'm wrong, this is part of Hell Week for them.
Yeah, Hell Week, where they make everything as hard as possible. They want to weed through all the people who can't make it.
They don't let
funny, there are stories of guys who wash out maybe 3 times, but they keep coming back, man. They're gonna get better and stronger, and eventually some of those guys make it by continuously getting a chance to try, because they'll let you keep trying once you make the team, make the list. So they don't like quitters, and so that does really well. This dude is actually a very interesting character. This scene, you want to explain the scene, hun?
That's Howard coming into the Admiral's office, telling them they got legal cover, somehow made evidence disappear that the drug was ever tested.
Right.
But he is worried that Reese might come after them too, because everybody else is dead. It's just those 3 people left: Howard, Cox, and Pillar.
Yeah, and it was a big shock when you learn that his own senior commanding officer is involved with the team getting wiped out.
Oh yeah, heavily involved. But that gets explained later.
And he's in a secure area. Like, how is he ever going to get to him? You know, and he's got to figure this shit out. And he's doing tactical work, as that's what Reese is. You know, he's a troublemaker. All your tier 1 operators are experts at being troublemakers. And they always find ways of, they got to find ways to getting to a target. And that's that whole thing you're trained in the military of improvising and overcoming problems. If this doesn't work, what will work? And they'll also test things. You know, you'll find something quite often in the military. I don't know about you, Joe, but we used to deal with counter intel. And I always believed that I would spot them, because Jim Woodward, who worked in Army counterintelligence, said that I was probably at least 80% right.
Yeah, I'd never got had any interaction with them, but I'm sure when we were doing the Reforger in 85 on Hood, I'm sure they were part of the exercises there.
Yeah, because what they do is they infiltrate.
Right.
They usually go into places where you go into town, like or to the E Club, and they'll be hanging out in there, and they look like they fit. They really do. They just fit, you know. But these guys are actually special agents for the U.S. military to weed out people that might be traitors, that might give up information about what they're doing.
Yeah, they're testing whether or not you deserve that top secret clearance they gave you.
That's what counterintelligence is all about. Their job is to make sure all. I know that we're going to get a comment about this. All holes are plugged.
Exactly.
Oh God,
phrasing.
Yeah, I know.
Well, Pillar is arrogant about his chances here.
Yeah, Pillar, of course, is the senior commander, and he's an ass.
The admiral. He's saying that if disgraced Commander Reese wants to show up here, there are 5,000 sailors who will have something to say about it.
Yeah, but he's safe. He lives on the base. He never leaves it.
Yeah.
Cox and Howard are not. So this is why Howard already made a plan, checked out countries where they could go to, where they would be safe. And Cox is like, I'm not fucking moving because of Reese. So they know they might be in trouble.
Yep. And there he is right offshore in Ben's boat, checking the situation out, you know.
And that's why they talk about Cox and Howard being easy, but Pillar might be a problem because he doesn't leave the base. But then Reese reminds Ben of something that happened in the past, and Ben goes like, bold plan, because Reese has a plan. And that's where we see him look at the soldiers training on the beach. He knows what he's doing. And we see later he's following through.
And you'll hear one thing Reese says a lot. And you get a lot of guys that are like this in the military. Stick to the plan.
Yeah.
Stick to the plan. You know, do your job. Stick to the plan. It'll work. And I like that. It's a form of confidence that you get with people that know what they're doing in the military. And
yeah,
Ben
this is also where the hard training for the SEALs pays off, because nobody can stop him. They are all onto him, and he still goes through with all his plans, and it's unstoppable.
Yeah, and the thing is, you know, I don't think he'd be able to do it without Ben. Ben is so essential to everything he's doing. Ben is putting his life and career on the line to help his best friend.
Why.
We don't want to say too much.
No,
but it is very personal for Ben too, just so people understand. He really is a good guy.
Mm-hmm.
And he cares about his best friend.
Yes, he does.
And of course, there she is, because, you know, at this point, we don't know what to make of her character. Is she going to help the situation, or is she going to be the enemy? And of course, there's this moment where she's listening to the conversation between what's her name?
Katie and Horn.
Yep.
And that makes her realize something, and we get the explanation for that a bit later.
You know, and because there is a great Scooby-Doo moment near the end with Constance Wu's character and her. And it is where she begins to unravel what's true and what's a lie. And I found it to be one of the best written moments in the entire show. And that's in episode 8.
Yeah.
So she lands.
She's on her way to a press conference where she declares him a domestic terrorist.
But watch what she does. She doesn't want to.
No.
Yeah. She's hesitant. Mm-hmm.
She's also very clever about the questions she gets asked.
You know, she's very cautious to call him a terrorist. And because she understands what he's doing.
Yeah. And she's answering the
morning,
questions
Tickle Trunk.
without actually giving answers. Hi, Titi.
Dave Bob is here too. Good morning, Dave Bob. Is that supposed to say Darius? Martin.
Zeros.
I don't know who that is.
No, it is Dyrus.
I think he's new. I
Yeah.
haven't seen
Oh,
that name before.
you are new. I don't recognize your name.
Welcome.
Good morning.
Darius.
This is we're like Cheers. You come here because everybody knows your name.
That's right.
Oh, I love this one. Hold on. Gerry should concern himself with his own holes. All right, so here we are at where's this at? I forget where this is at.
That is Tony talking to his team.
Okay,
about
we're in the federal building. Okay.
Yeah. Reese is on a mission, and to stop him, they need to figure out his kill list so that they can get to his next target before he does, and then eventually catch him. That's their plan.
There's Constance. She's been brought back in.
She comes in.
Yeah.
And
she comes in because she needs some more info.
This is also the point where
story.
they're like, no. When she's like, I'll meet you. And he's like, nope. I like that moment.
Yeah.
We're not letting you go. No.
Well, after that scene, because she lays out all the information she has so far, but it's not complete yet. So she needs that from them. And Tony's like, okay, you show me yours, I'll show you mine, basically. So She tells them, you have Horn's computers, look for a cap table. That should give you the names of everybody who was involved in this and took profit from that. And she also tells him she knows about RD 4895. And she agrees the Reese must be stopped, but he's not the only one who must be held accountable for that.
Yeah, exactly. And by the way, for those of you in the audience, yes, that is Rocket Kitty that you keep hearing.
She's about to set off, I think.
Yeah, she gets a wild hair up her ass, and then she just starts going and just then starts exploding all over the room.
Yeah.
So
there's nothing I can do to stop her. So apologies, but life with cats.
There we go. It's not like she doesn't have a bathroom with a door. Oh, you laugh like you think I'm kidding.
I know you're not.
You don't do that to cats.
Oh,
yeah.
Fuck, I haven't.
Martine, you know Gerry doesn't have a heart, so.
I have no heart. Even though I joked yesterday that it grew 3 times that day. Boy, I better get that checked by a doctor. So now we're back at the base. And she is there to meet with him. And this is, you're not as safe as you fucking think you are.
She also has a DCIS agent with her.
Yep.
Yeah, there she goes. And she's asking questions about Operation Odin's Sword, which is the operation that went wrong in episode 1, where the team got wiped out. Everybody but Reese.
The catalyst for this entire situation. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, she begins to ask questions now because she realizes there's more to it than she knows.
Yeah, this is, of course, Rocket Kitty's moment. She's going to... This is her opinion on the show. It's amazing. So she's saying, I love this show.
She's introducing herself
Pop
to
Culture
our
Minefield
new
rocks.
audience.
I'm Rocket Kitty.
So does KGRA.
We need a t-shirt.
We'll see how long they want to continue us. So, basically she's like, you better stop acting so fucking confident. Because it's not just me now. You've got an investigative crew that's going to be covering this shit. And help me out here to explain more of this, hon.
Yeah, she starts asking questions about Odin's sword, and he basically just points her to the feds. That's more of a Langley question.
Right. And of course, when you hear Langley, of course, that means CIA.
Yeah. But he knows he's in the shit now.
So yeah, but he always smiles because he just, look, baby, I don't care. I don't give two shits.
Yeah, but he's not meaning it anymore. Not like he did with the other two people before. Where he's like, yeah, now we don't need to move country. We're safe. We got soldiers here on the base. He's not that confident anymore now. Because she starts digging.
Yep. So we get to see him at his house now and his family. And he doesn't want to take that call from his boss. He's like, fuck you.
Because he needs his family to pack and get ready to move.
And he is in a panic mode and trying not to look like he's in a panic mode. But he is in absolute panic mode. We got to bug out.
Yeah, they're wanting to flee to the Florida Keys until everything blows over.
And he doesn't want to explain to his family. And they're like, but we've got things going on. We have lives.
And they know something is wrong, but he's not telling them.
She knows
his
in
wife
particular.
Is a bit pissed. Yeah, and she's pissed that he's not being open about it.
And he basically just says, just do what I said. And then you see the microphone on the device. And and Anima's like, can they really do that? I'm like, oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, they can. They can look for you through your laptops, your phones, all sorts of shit.
We all run around with a spy device.
I was fixing to say.
It is nothing more than an audio GPS system to know where we're at all the time. That's all it is.
Big Brother is always watching, folks. Don't forget it.
And then we see something is being fabricated here.
Yeah.
What is this? Somebody's good at sewing.
Yeah.
And Ben shows up.
I wonder if he learned that in the SEALs.
I got to tell you, we knew how to sew in the military.
Oh, yeah.
Nothing annoyed me more than people that would take stuff over to have their patches and shit put on their uniforms. I hated guys that did that. Do it yourself, man. They legally can't watch, so they record for later. Yeah, there you go, buddy.
If you run into a guy that knows what a thimble's for, he was probably in the military.
Yep. Because I had to tell you, I did all my own patches. The only thing I ever did in the military that was, I had my, because our uniforms are BDUs, basic duty. They call them ACUs now. But when we're in there, basic duty uniforms. And they were treated with chemicals that made you a small signature to radar. So you were not allowed to have them dry cleaned.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And you had to launder everything. And so we always did our own laundry.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing I ever sent out was my Class A's, my dress uniform.
Yeah, that's something different.
Yeah, that's typically, BDUs. The thing I hated doing was starching them because I was in the MP Corps and they wanted you to be super crisp. BDUs was starching them. It never made any sense to me.
Yeah, starch is bad. Starch is bad. You don't put that in your uniform. Mm-hmm. What I always did, and by the way, nothing funny than watching regular Army guys, because, we got our garrison cap. We would grab that thing, your field cap. And we would sit there. Yeah. Oh, no, I'm not talking about
the slang.
I'm not talking about the cunt cap. I'm talking about the your basic duty uniform hat. And in the Army, when you're infantry, you want this part of the hat crisp.
Right.
And so you'd watch infantry guys, and I'd be sitting there with them. And you go through the ring, you're biting down. and using your saliva to help build that rim so it's always sharp and look good. And we were those guys, we were that team that wore exactly 2 fingers above the bridge of the nose.
Gotcha.
So you can never see my eyes when I was in uniform. It just it's fun. I don't know. I miss that stuff a lot. Being older sucks. And I don't know about you, Joe. I dream about it. I dream about being in the military a lot. Going back, being yelled at and shit. I wake
the
up.
camaraderie. It's like being on a sports team. It's like being anywhere where guys are working together for a common goal. I mean, friendships are made that you'll never forget.
Bonds. And yes, nobody understands it. I tell people my friendships are different after the military because I require that. I now require that. And I slough people off left and right out of my life if I do not feel they're up to the challenge of being a good friend.
Yeah.
And that's how you should judge your friendships from that point forward in your life. Really look and weed out those people who are, well, as we refer to them in the military.
Because you're worth something. You have to have a sense of, right.
Buddy fuckers.
You have to have a sense of self-worth, self-esteem. And that's something the military will give you if you don't have it. No doubt.
Oh, dude. Look, man, I totally feel for you, Fish Belly. Totally feel for you. I'd have shit falling off my uniform. I'll tell you the worst thing that ever happened to me. I was broke, and I accidentally got Brasso on the lapel of my Class A uniform. And that is a fucking nightmare.
Yeah.
I was so angry because you can't get it out.
No.
It's in there, and you gotta. I had to walk around with that for a little bit. I walked around for like 5 weeks with Brasso on my fucking Class A's.
Oh man,
I was so embarrassed over that. And then finally, I got enough money I could buy a new Class A uniform top. All you got to do is go to the local
tell me the
Army
telltale
surplus.
ring on the lapel from your insignia. Yeah, ugh.
It was from the U.S. one.
The U.S. Yeah,
not the Caduceus one, because I had a medical on one lapel and I had U.S. Army on the other.
Yeah, we all wear U.S. Army, by the way, for the uninitiated. The other one on the other side is for your MOS. His was the Serpents, and mine was crossed pistols. Where the infantry has crossed rifles, the military police has crossed pistols. They're flintlocks.
Yeah, and with those of us in the medical corps, we had hot chicks.
There you go. That's what I'm talking about. Did you train at St.
Can we go back to the show now?
Yeah.
What? Hey, we get.
Hey, you don't interrupt veterans.
Sorry about that.
Don't interrupt veterans.
You might need to put that disclaimer up, man. You haven't done that in a while.
Well, I have that one video, but I'm not going to play it today. No. But here we are. We're back in the scene. Let's get it going.
Yeah, Ben tells him that Howard is about to run off with his family. And Reese asks him about his future plans because...
And there it is. You know what this is.
His career is fucked up. And Ben tells him that he has a place in Peru. And this is important. And we'll learn later why.
That is an IED vest.
He's making a vest, yeah. Mm-hmm. At that point, I was like, holy shit, is he going to do it himself? Like, blow himself up?
Yeah, and I kept going,
shh. He has a plan.
Shh, baby, shh.
Yeah.
Watch. So we're back at the Fed building.
Yeah, Tony did his research. He now knows Pillar, Cox, and Howard are behind RD 4895. And the NCIS is also compromised because Holden, the NCIS agent that he killed, I think his second name on the list, was working for Steve Hart.
And there we start.
So he's on
Oberon Analytics right there. You see it, Oberon.
Yeah, that is the one where they don't have a name. So who is behind that?
Unknown.
And
it's important.
Yes, it is.
This guy did a really good job. And I do like that his little partner, a little more shut up and fucking do your job this episode.
Yeah. This is where he tells her that she's not to leave. She's being held there now. And she's pissed. She's angry. That is Howard and family packing up. Arguing, of course. because she's angry.
She's pissed that he's fucking everything up. What's going on? What are you lying to me for?
Yeah.
There's nothing worse than when you're trying to get shit done quickly and somebody's just dragging you down, asking questions instead of just doing what you ask. Mm-hmm. But that's family compared to military. Oh, who's that?
Look who's there.
Yeah, he gets knocked at the door, and his son's like, "Hey, Dad, FBI's here." And he goes, "Coming," trying to act cool, and looks up, and there's Ben in a FBI uniform.
What's up?
And this is the moment where Ben fucks up his career.
This is absolutely a career ender. By doing this, he has committed treason. And he is pretending to be something he's not within the boundaries of the United States. There are laws to prevent the CIA from doing this.
They're not supposed to operate on our soil.
That's right.
Absolutely.
They do, but there's nothing.
Oh, we know they do.
Well, we know they do, but they
work in tandem.
Yeah.
Well, they work in tandem with the NSA in particular, and they're constantly spying on Americans.
Well, to be honest, Ben knew his career was ending since the moment he
jumped in.
He
with
asked
him.
for the names.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. He has no choice.
There's no turning back.
So now we're outside the SEAL Training Center command.
Yeah, Tony
building.
and his FBI guys go in
This
to investigate.
cocksucker right here, man.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'd like to smack that look right off his fucking face when he talks. I knew guys like this, man, in the military.
You know you did.
I knew one female officer that was like this too. And man, you just look at him, it's like you have no military bearing whatsoever. Mm-mm. You're just full of just so much cocksure. Somebody needs to knock you down a peg. And so he's up there and he goes, and he's like, I have a warrant. And he goes, that doesn't mean shit here. You don't go in here unless I give you permission. And he goes, and I've got nothing to hide. So come on in.
So
it was all about dick swinging.
Yeah.
It was all about dick swinging. He's taking the alpha role here, letting him know, I control this. You have nothing you can do here.
Mm-hmm.
Good luck, buddy. But what he does by doing that is he makes himself look even more guilty.
Yep.
And I forget, what was this call about?
About Howard and his family being missing. They had tickets but missed the plane. Nobody knows where they are.
That's right.
And also Cox seems to be on the run, and they're doing everything to track him.
So now we know one of the officers under this dick heel right here is missing. And then this guy is in the bar. He's the other officer in charge.
Cox, he's getting drunk. Because he knows it's over.
And she's like, hey, man, it's not your fault this stuff happens. But it is his fault. He knows it's his fault. Mm-hmm. He knows he's fucking nose deep in this.
And that Reese is coming for him. And he sure is.
Yep, because...
he's waiting outside.
Yep, he's outside waiting for him. Hey, buddy. Hey. I thought maybe it was time for a couple of old Navy SEALs to fucking hammer down.
So
breaks his arm a little bit in a fight.
Yeah, it's a cool scene because he's drunk, getting in his car, and there's Reese walking up to him. He's like, so how are we doing this? Asses and elbows? Yeah, asses and elbows.
I think at that point, Cox knew he was dead.
But
he gives it a try.
Yep, he's there, gets him knocked out eventually, and
he injects him with something.
Yep, injects him. He puts in an arm bar and injects him. And hey, buddy, you're asleep. Good. I hope you get a good nap because we're gonna have some fun with logs
on the beach.
Yes.
And what he's doing to him in that scene, as he wakes up, he's got him on the shoreline as the tide's coming in, with his back to the ocean, tethered to that fucking log. And normally you have an entire team with you doing this.
And he has a broken arm, remember?
And he's got a broken arm. So good luck fucking being able to hold that log up. And he wants information. He wants intel from him. He knows he's dead, and Reese is just telling him, man, do the right thing. Let me kill you and get the info I need.
He tries to explain why he
make
did
the people who got you in this position,
Yeah.
What you don't know is when we get to the end of this scene is what else is going on in this scene.
Yeah.
And he's trying to, and I love the way he explains to him. He's like, "Hey, man, usually you got your buddies next to you on the left and right.
You sent them to die,
help you, but they're all dead now. So you're on your own on this one to hold that log up. And you got a broken arm. That sucks.
Where's your team, Bill?
This scene kind of reminds me of the knife in the collarbone scene in my book, Vindicated.
Yeah, I love that one.
It's like, oh man, it sucks for you.
Sucks for you.
You got about 6 minutes. Oh wait,
and it's funny. They're out of.
3.
Tell me that there aren't common threads between this show and my book.
Oh, there are.
Absolutely. And I like that. So laugh at him and don't give him the information. That's some guys would do that. They're like, fuck you. But he knows the shitheels he's been working with. And I think he secretly wants them punished for what's happened. And by the way, Monkey, absolutely, alphas exist. I have a problem with sigmas, but alphas do exist. I've been surrounded by betas a lot of my life. But anyway, here we go. Let's finish this scene, because what happens at the climax of it is one of the most shocking moments during this show.
Yeah.
The entire run.
Drown.
Yeah,
and they're not alone on the beach.
I've gotten all I want from you. I'm just going to let you die now. And he just watches him as he goes under. And
well, one piece of information that we get is that the medics were not in on it. The medics saw.
Because that was a concern he had.
Yeah.
They actually thought it was B12.
Yeah.
They were giving him B12 injections. Mm-hmm. And it's not the first time medics get lied to or have been put in a position of being forced to lie. Because I had to lie. Because when we were given the atropine injectors, I read the boxes which said not human tested, and we weren't allowed to talk about that at the time.
Right.
So fucked up.
Yeah, all that stuff does is you die high, basically.
Yeah. Well, the first injection will save you from the toxin if you're gassed, but if you don't take the second injection, the thing that saved you will kill you.
Yeah, exactly.
Nice.
And so you have to take the second injection, and they're you have to hammer them in. The first one, you do it and pray that you don't lose consciousness. And then you switch to the second injector and hammer it into your leg, your thigh, right into the quads.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I know, dude. Che. God, man, she's only 64, man. She had a massive stroke, years of smoking. I'm telling you, she had a rough life. She worked in porn for years. She straightened her life out towards the end, but man, it's just tragic when their body starts to break down after years of abuse. But yeah, she was the original Wednesday, and I do like. I'm going to say I like the fact that on Wednesday she does the dance move that Lisa did in the original Addams Family. I thought that was kind of a nice nod, doing that cool little shuffle step with the hands. That was really cool. But yeah, man, it's sad. We lost a couple of people in 2 days, man. Young too. The other one was 45.
45. The girl that did the voice of Tess in Last of Us. Yeah.
Yeah.
Dead at 45.
24 and
I remember in
Star
Bosch.
Trek, and
she was in Bosch.
Yeah.
But yeah, anyway, she's gone. Lisa's gone. Yeah, it's sad. But anyway, so he starts walking back towards the beach, and he's dead as fuck.
Yeah.
And then we go to this moment where, like, what are we doing here? And we see
he has Howard and his family watching.
And they're flexi-cuffed. And where he goes here, it even bothers Ben what he does here. But it's strategic. It's all about strategy. Because
he's told Howard,
he's told
Howard
guy.
What he needs him to do.
Because we know this guy now. We know this guy would never do anything morally wrong, unjustified. But he threatens Howard, but he also threatens his family.
He has to break Howard to make him do it.
He's got to break him because he knows because you were like, but what? I said, because watch what happens. The first thing, he won't give up that information.
No.
He is absolutely not going to give up anything. And he says, kill me if you have to. I'm not telling you anything. And so Reese knows, then the only way I can break you is to drag your kid out and kill your fucking family in front of you. You took my kid, I'll take yours.
Yeah.
Took my wife, I'll take yours.
Eye for an eye, baby. Yep.
And then he fucking says, okay. And right here, he says something interesting. He says, how did he phrase this? Are you still ready to do that one favor for me? Because he owed him. Remember, he said he owed him.
Yeah.
Yep.
And this is it. And so we don't get a reveal of what that is until later.
But Howard knows at this point. So.
Howard knows, and it's why he looks the way he does in this scene.
Yeah. He knows it's over already. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
He's dead and he knows it, yeah. Just like Cox, when he showed up in the parking lot, Cox knew he was dead. So.
Yep. So, he's like, get everything ready, and Ben's like, are you sure you need, he's like, yeah, we're going to do it this way. Follow the plan.
That's it.
Have a break.
I'm going to go get me some coffee.
Yeah, man. And we now go to our first break of the day. Bill, are you ready, man? Let's do this thing. Hi, guys. This is Gerry from Pop Culture Minefield here on KGRA, and we're leaving for our first break. I hope we survive. Oh, wow, we survived. Welcome back to the commercial break. Now for some more Pop Culture Minefield on KGRA. That is I sound so retarded.
Are you going to keep that?
I sound so dumb. That's what happens when I record at 1, 2 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
I'm keeping it because I think it's funny.
Retarded funny.
So here we are. We're at the federal building with Wu again, and she's talking directly with Reese while the team is sitting right outside the office. They're within eyeshot of her, and she's doing this. Morning, Zax.
Yeah, hi, Zax. Reese calls her at that moment and tells her how sorry he is to have her dragged into this.
Yeah, it's a I think this is an important scene, and I think that she's wrong because he didn't drag her into this.
No,
she brought
she
herself.
started talking to him.
She's the one who went up to Horn out there in the street, knowing that he was going to do something. She put herself in jeopardy, and she knows that. And she, it's a bullshit guilt ploy. And all I think she's really trying to do is to get him to stop. That's all it is. It's designed for that. It's not. She knows she's full of shit. She's doing it to try to get him to stop. So, anybody else pop in while I was not paying attention? Let's see. Who do we got here? Che is here, of course. Morning, buddy. Said morning, Dave, Bob, and Zach's Kyle. Kyle is here. Good morning, guys. And I can't say what it is, but Zach's in his own way serves Canada. And he's a person that serves society. And very proud of you, Zach's. Proud of the work you do on YouTube, and proud of you as a person. You're a good man. You're a good man, Charlie Brown.
Zach's is good people.
Yeah, hell yeah, he is. But so they're talking about what's going on here. You want to keep us up to beat, Anima?
Yeah, they are getting into it, and this is why they are visited by the DCIS and pulled off the case, because they are digging too deep. And they also get told that Pillar actually had an EUA, an emergency use authorization, to test that bug. So it wasn't technically fully illegal to do that. But they're getting too deep into it, so he's benched.
Yeah, and I had explained to Anima what the Emergency Act is, and this is how they get away with stuff, because that's how the military tested the flu on us, flu shots. We were the first ones to ever take it, first humans to take the flu shot, U.S. Army. And they can do that every once in a while because we're conscripted to the Department of Defense. We're their property. And it's one of the hardest things for civilians to understand what that really means.
Your social security number is your identity.
And that was really weird because, like, when my dad was in the Army and my brother was in the Marine Corps, they had separate serial numbers. But somewhere in the late 70s, they went to just using social security numbers, which is funny because when you were finally, when they came up with doing a social security number system, they told you this is private. You give this to no one. Remember?
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I still struggle when people ask me for it. I'm like, I don't know.
Because we were taught it, you and I are that age. We were told, don't give that number to anybody.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
You asked for my social security number of a phone. I ain't giving it to you. Mm-hmm. So anyway, he's getting angry here because this cocksucker on the right, yes, he's kind of a good guy, but at the same time, he's kind of being a dick. But at the same time, I do like the fact that they understand the hard work that he's put in, and they tell him, you're still going to work on this project with us. It's just we're in control of it now. So he's not being kicked. But
he's told to give all the information to them, and then
he's got to turn everything over. But they don't know all the information he has. And this is where he gives the fuck you to them.
Yeah.
And we'll see
that
in a moment.
Tells Katie everything.
Oh, I'm letting everybody see it. Yeah. Spoiler.
We have one more episode to go through. I'm just worried we might not be able to finish.
We'll get there. So he goes over and gives Constance, sits down and puts those folders in front of her, and then basically says, take this information. Do some good with it. Get your story
out ASAP.
Yeah, do it quickly. That's right. Do it quickly. And that's what this whole scene's about, And so, what's this? Did I miss something here?
Did we miss the part where Reese texts her on their secured line?
Oh, shit. Yeah, I forgot about that.
Or he says, sorry about getting you into this.
Yeah, they did that.
Yeah, we did that.
But he did not get her into this. She came in willing.
He calls her, yeah. He calls her and says, sorry, I never meant for you to get hurt and everything.
But now she's being given a loaded gun by this federal agent because he's getting irritated by the bulwark that's just been put in front of him to go after the bad guys. He's now been told he can't go after who he wants to go after.
He wants to do the right thing.
And something we discovered here in this scene is if that's Constance Wu doing the typing, she types very quick. He relieves the federal agent sitting out in front of Reese's house, the young black agent. She's with the other dude too, I think, and says, "I'll take the shift," because he's just got nothing better to do. And she types fast, like 200 words a minute. I've never seen anybody type this fast. And there's a scene later where you see her typing, and I'm like, God damn, she types fast.
And that's her boss.
That's her boss, and she's telling him.
She disappoints all the time, but she tells him now she has the story.
I have the story, and oh, by the way, got to go again. Sorry. And he's like, don't fucking. And she hangs up on him, and he's just he is so frustrated with her.
Yeah.
Throughout the entire series, and secret. And here we go. And she sends it. She says she's sending it to him, and now she's just got to sit there and wait. We cut back to the house, and this is where the show started. This is where the show started, where he's in the house. And
something we forgot. Before she hangs up, she tells her boss that Hartley approved the project RD4.
Oh yeah, the politician.
And she suspects her to be that unknown shareholder.
Oh, this is where she calls him a dick. This is funny.
Yeah, because he goes to the house, and this is where the visions get crazy because he jumps back and forth in his own time.
They're overlapping, and sometimes it's a happy moment, and sometimes it's like stressful moment. And it's starting.
And this is caused by the drug
tumor.
or the tumor. Yeah,
the tumor.
Okay.
Tumor.
Mm-hmm.
And so he's seeing that happy moment when she announces she's pregnant. He's just now from the kiss. I thought that was
yeah. He's such a dick. It's so funny.
Oh man, it's such a good scene. And then of course, his brain won't let him have a happy moment.
Yeah, so it turns to the phone call that you gave him after the mission. What happened? They say everybody's dead, and you just have a concussion.
They've been talking to all the families, and it's rough. It's daytime again, and it's just every time we go back to that Rain and the Bird, it's plays so heavy on the audience. It is, and once again, you saw him stagger there. That's from the brain tumor.
Mm-hmm.
And at this point, he flashbacks into the tunnel. Yeah. This is where it goes dark, and he's in the tunnel again, remembering the incident.
And hearing his daughter's voice at the same time.
Yep.
This is
where we get to see that little firefight they had. I'm sorry, and it's daytime again, and he's just layering. His memories are layering in his head.
Because this is when she's getting him shit for not leaving active duty. Because he promised and then he didn't.
What am I going to tell Lucy, our daughter? What do you want me to tell her? If you die, tell her I'm doing this for you and her. And she's, that's bullshit. You're doing this for you, and it's not true, but it's not right. And here's this moment where she says the line about Neverland, talking about Peter Pan never being able to grow up, so he's always outside the window looking in.
Never getting the one thing he really wants.
And this, of course, is a great reference to how Reese's character is. Very touching moment. And this scene where she wins an award for a spelling bee.
Yeah.
And then it starts to go dark again. Here's where it goes dark, and he sees when they're dead on the floor, and he grabs her hand, and he's trying to save her. And when he gets around the corner, she's not there anymore. His hand's empty.
Yeah.
And then he sees his wife putting baby Lucy to bed. So he's back and forth.
Late night feeding, exactly. Yeah. Just layer upon layer of memory. And now he's back in the real world. And
It's just all really
Getting
well
it-
done.
Text
Yeah.
from Katie hardly approved it. So
I don't
Yeah.
know.
He has
Me personally,
one
I
more
would
name.
never go back to that house. Never.
he wants to see them, and he knows that going to his house triggers these flashbacks. So that's why he's doing it. No one understands why he keeps
We don't
going
want to
back.
know how sausage is made, but worse, we don't want to know how monkey sausage is made. Right, Joe?
Yep, that's it for sure.
Well, that's the one thing you learn in if you ever read the Book of the Samurai. The major books of my life was The Flower of Chivalry, story of William Marshall, The Book of Five Rings, Sun Tzu, The Art of War, and The Way of the Samurai. And those books guided my life. Oh, and Benjamin Hoff's The Tao of Pooh. Don't even fucking make fun of me. It's a great fucking book on Taoism. And all those books led my life. So here we go. Everybody was waiting for this moment. I knew what was going to happen here. I knew it. I had already figured it out when I watched it the first time. And
Howard comes to visit
Howard
in his office.
I need to talk
on
to
the
you
base.
alone, sir. I need to talk to you alone, sir. And he goes, I'll call you when I need you again, talking to the young military secretary.
Yeah.
And he's like, I'm untouchable, he's bragging about how untouchable he is. And then his phone rings and just without hesitation, he just hands it to him and goes, it's for you.
Yeah. And it's of course Reese.
And he's like, motherfucker, you can't get to me. Fuck you and the horse you rode in on, you piece of shit. You're
And
nothing.
I love how Reese talks him down. He's like, you know what? I realized my daughter has seen more combat than you.
Yeah, my
armchair
daughter's seen
warrior.
more combat
So
than you.
Here goes some combat for you. And then he sends off the rest.
Yeah,
You're
and,
behind walls. You're untouchable. And then
Yeah,
he goes into the line about the claymores.
It's the 1,400 rounds, 100 ball bearings for every guy, or 1,000 ball bearings for every guy that died on my team. And then he opens it and shows he's got 2 claymores pointed right
There
at
it
him.
is. Yep.
And he's like trying to negotiate. I know who the other person is. He goes, what if I told you I already knew?
Get
He
some,
does.
dude.
He only needs one more name, and he's not letting him.
And
know
this
that.
is
So he's like,
important.
that's nothing you can give me. Fuck off.
His need to be at that house is twofold, because he wants to be there because that's where he gets his most memories with his family.
Mm-hmm.
But on top of that, he's close to the base, and so he's within earshot of the explosion.
Mm-hmm.
He needs to hear that. Yeah.
Oh shit!
Got to confirm the kill. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And so he's right there, man.
I suppose he's still.
And he's
listening
already
into the,
he's already crossed through his fucking
off.
name. I love that. And
Boom.
boom, baby.
See you, man.
Technically another terrorist act.
The world's biggest shotgun just went off.
Yeah, there's no way this guy is ever going to be removed from the most wanted list.
No.
Unless special favors are called in, that dude is a criminal. And his life, as he ever knew it as a citizen, is over.
Yeah.
But he assumes he's going to die. He expects to die. And that is the double meaning of the terminal list.
Mm-hmm.
Is that not only is it a list of people that I'm going to kill, I'm going to die at the end of it. I expect to die.
Yep.
I'll either be killed or I will die from the tomb. And now he knows, because there's the fire in the background. He did it remotely and he's here.
Yeah, he hears that over the police radio, the report about the incident. Bomb explosion in the admiral's office, supposedly remotely detonated. And so he goes in because he suspects Reese to be there. And he is.
So we get this great coming in there, I'm going to bust you, motherfucker. Come on, Reese, give yourself up, man. And Reese is like, fuck you.
Yep.
Knocks the shit out of him. They fight, they wrestle. He gets the gun. And he goes, I know everything. I know they're guilty. And I love this warning. He says, basically, stop trying to get on my list.
Stay off my list.
Stay off my list.
He knocks him out with
the pistol.
With the pistol and handcuffs him.
Well, and I always say this, Batman. I got into an argument one time with Chuck Dixon and Graham, and I said, yeah, but in reality, anytime you strike a person in the torso or in the head, you risk killing them. Every single time. We're very fragile creatures, more fragile than people understand. It really does not take a lot to kill us. And if you hit somebody in the brain, do anything that could shock the neck, or do anything that could destroy the lungs or the heart, or even worse, stop the heart. You can actually hit somebody in the chest and cause their heart to stop. And, so him hitting him in the head, I'm like, come on, man. He should have just choked him out. I would have rather choking him out than striking his head. But then he flexi-cuffs him. He starts coming around, and he tells him, stay off my list.
Yeah. And it's important that he's not killing him, because he could have, but he doesn't, and it pays off in the end.
Yeah, exactly. And now we see Frances Wu back in that library. She calls her editor, and he says, I never got the PDF file.
And she says, no, I sent it. And she goes in and finds that it has disappeared.
It's been removed from her outgoing mail. It's gone right there. It
Big
just
Brother
disappears.
is watching. Yeah.
And then we see
Hartley
come walking into that library. And that's a beautiful library. I've been there. It's a really gorgeous place.
And she offers her an interview to learn the whole truth.
You want the truth? Your story's only half the truth. You got a lot of stuff wrong. I'll grant you an interview.
She's giving her a choice. You can walk off. It's fine. But if you want the truth, I'm willing to give it to you.
And so, how deep is Hartley involved, and is she a bad guy? Because it seems like she's fighting for the good guys in this show. Executive producer Chris Pratt, fucking awesome, dude.
Yeah.
And that's the first episode, episode 7.
Extinction.
And I got to tell you, good show, man. So far, we are now finally to the finale. And let me go ahead and remove that one. And I will get to. And by the way, you asked a good question, Monkey, earlier. I did see it. I drink Fuel Up. I'm almost out, Bill. I'm almost out, man. I need my fix, man. I got to tell you, man, Fuel Up's amazing, and we are putting a promo together that we're going to start doing on the show that's based off of the information Bill gave me for them and stuff we're supposed to read on the air. We're going to have a meeting over it, I'm hoping this week, because we need to really start pushing Fuel Up. I wasn't prepared for today because I wasn't sure if we were going to go live with KGRA today, but we did. Woo!
Excellent.
Yeah, that was a surprise.
Yeah.
Excellent. I want to do Wayne's World. Wayne's World.
Wayne's World.
Excellent.
Woo! But now I'll load up episode 8. And oops.
Which you got to get through in 25 minutes.
Or
35 minutes.
Yeah, we're fine. Yeah. They're only 24-minute videos. Share, see, video file, episode 8, and here we go. So we see the report of the incident in the background, and he's watching, and now both of them are named.
Yeah, both of them.
Yeah.
Locked at the hip. Yep.
He's waiting for Ben, who is
putting makeup on his knuckles right now because he's got bloody knuckles.
Yeah, and he also puts on a wig and basically switches his identity because he's on the run now.
Yeah, they got that little
I don't
van
know
full of...
if we learned that here, but the Howards have identified him. So
yeah,
the FBI
that's
knows.
how he was. Yeah, because he let him go. He told him to let him go. The minute it's done, let him go.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, he had no intention of killing that guy's wife.
None whatsoever.
Oh,
yeah. But he had to make Howard believe he would.
Right.
He had to break him, yeah. I thought it was hard, but I see, like in hindsight, that was the only way to get him to do that, walk in with the vest. Because that was the only way to get to Pillar. because he's in his Fort Knox where he thinks he's safe. So it's the only way to do it. Send someone in whom he trusts.
Good reference, Fort Knox. Yeah. So now they're talking about being on the run, how we're going to do this, where we're going. And they start heading in that direction. Now we see Constance in the limo heading to her little fortress in the woods.
Katie called Reese and told him that Hartley is on the move to her place on Orcas Island. So that's where they go.
I'm bad with the names, but that reporter's got to be scared out of her mind.
Well, you know, because there's a good chance she ain't walking away from this because she doesn't know. I mean,
she knows what's going. She knows what this guy is capable of, and she don't want to get caught in the crossfire. But at the same time,
well, she doesn't trust this politician either.
Right.
Partly, yeah, but
she wants to get the story. Any good journalist would.
She wants the interview to see what's her side of the story.
Yeah. So she begins the process of recording the interviews, and she begins to break it down for.
Well, she tells her, "I'm not saying your facts are wrong, but you're drawing the wrong conclusions from them." Because she did greenlight it, but not for profit. She wanted to solve.
And she admits that she used She admits using the Emergency Act as a means to do it because of her father. She describes how she had to find her father, you know, and that her motivation is watching what PTSD did to her dad.
Well,
and it
she
is.
tells her that
in
a
really
later
is.
scene, but she had good intentions, and she also was made to believe that it's actually working because Pilar fudged the medical reports that were sent to her. So she actually believed she was doing something good.
If I may, this is really great writing because at this point in the story, I'm wondering if she is feeding this girl propaganda or is she really trying to get
well,
off
that's
this
just
guy's
it. And
list,
Constant Wu's character, Katie, has to be suspicious, but she won't show it. If you're a good reporter, you go along with whatever your subject is talking about. And you wait to the right moment before you ambush.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying, though?
I totally get it.
You don't know what this girl's motivation is. I'm talking about the politician here.
On face value,
is she trying to get off the list, or is she feeding this girl propaganda? You know, to feed to the public whenever she does do whatever she's planning on. Is she good or is she evil? We don't know at this point.
Well, she is telling her though that.
I'm sorry, I wanted to say something to Che in the chat. I love Orcas Island. My absolute favorite island is Camano Island. I spent a lot of time on Camano Island up there in Washington. Some beautiful places up there. But so now we're back with the feds.
One more thing. She tells Katie that when she saw her on TV going for Horn, she knew that there was more to it and started her own investigation. And then they interrupted because she has to go take a call.
Yep.
Okay. And that's Tony and his colleague being pissed that they are benched. But she has a way. He has a way. He has guys. So
I like the fact that she has stopped being such a piece of shit because she was so annoying early on. And now she's starting to act like his partner.
Yeah.
And
well, almost dying probably has something to do with that.
Right. Isn't this the chick that he saved on the hillside?
Avalanche?
Yeah.
Yeah, but then she points out, but he got me there. He put me there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
On that hill. He did what he did on that hill.
That is the moment where he asks her, are you prepared to ruin your career and come with me? Because I'm not out of the game yet.
Yep. And he absolutely is going to go after him. So she's doing an interesting thing here. And this shows how good of a reporter she is. She's checking how all the information was released, when it was released, time, date, bank reports. She has to follow everything. And this is what makes her a good investigative reporter. Because when we get that final scene with her in this episode, it is some of the best writing again.
Oh, she talks her into a corner.
I got to tell you, whoever wrote this series, the books, I'm not talking about the books, the series.
Yeah.
I consider them as good as Taylor Sheridan. And Taylor Sheridan is the current best screenwriter on TV.
Did they still call them teleplays?
You can call them that. No, you can absolutely.
I wasn't sure.
It's still screenwriting.
Yeah, it's great writing. It's fantastic. That's it's fantastic stuff. This and Reacher, I keep saying this and Reacher were the best things that came on last year.
Yep.
I'm not going to get into it now. I have problems with Reacher.
Yeah. We'll talk about that later.
my problem with it is it's not written as well as this.
No,
it has its check boxes, and it bugged me because of that.
Mm-hmm.
But and that final fight, each one of them gets to fight their boss. This is a great scene with them talking about shit, and just you can see what good friends they are.
Mm-hmm.
And
before we jumped to them, we saw Katie realize that outside the window, the security team is setting up for defense.
And there's a lot of armed security.
Yeah.
Yep.
And she needs to
really
absolutely. She should feel very threatened at this point.
That's what I'm saying. She's got to be scared out of.
And it's
mind.
not just being caught in a crossfire, Joe.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I think she understands that if she's lying to me, I will never leave this island.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
They will kill me.
Yeah.
But she wants this story.
You're right. It's not
she
just the
wants the
crossfire.
truth.
She may be killed for trying to get the story.
Exactly.
People.
And but that's a good driven reporter when they care that much about the truth.
Mm-hmm.
That they
that's
put
it
their
at
life.
This point. It's not about her career and getting the story out. It's about wanting to get the truth out.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
At all costs. Yep. That is how good she is.
Yep.
And we just don't see journalists like that today.
No. They're out there. You got to find them.
Here we go. Yeah. Here's the problem.
Roadblock.
Damn it. They got their bases covered.
Both of them are wanted. Both of them. Yeah. So it's like, well, fuckity fuck.
And Ben is like, we're not going to outrun them. And Reese goes for Scam and he's like, dude, we're not going to outgun them either.
Shoot them either,
Yeah.
So they got to outwit them. Now, what I find here funny, by the way, Joe, Anima doesn't like these smoky hats. She does not.
Oh man, you mean the Mountie hats state troopers wear?
And I looked at her and I went, they are not stupid. They are awesome hats.
Let me tell you,
my favorite.
Wear those in the army, and they're actually a weapon. That bill can get.
Oh yeah, they will hit you
right in the head. Yeah,
they will get right in your face and smack you with the bill of their hat, and that thing's hard. I saw a drill sergeant take his hat off and throw it and hit somebody with it. Funny as shit. But on top of that, I had one of those hats with it was a Stetson, and the brim was bit back. Mm-hmm. And it was the classic Pony Express hat.
Right.
And I love that hat, man.
F-Troop, right?
F-Troop,
Smashed
absolutely.
Up. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I love that hat, man. It got stolen. It was a $250 Stetson.
Damn it. That sucks,
man. I was on the riverside and I walked away. There were people around and somebody saw the hat and they wanted it. And when I got back to the beach, gone. Yeah. And I'm like, God damn it. I just got that hat just the way I liked it. It was starting to feel good on my head, when you wear. You got to wear them in. You got to get them used to your head.
Just broke it in just right.
Yep.
And damn.
So
that's a shame.
Anyway, state troopers are like, mind if we check your vehicle? And he's like, yeah, man, it's all cool, dude. I'm just ready to go to the beach and hang 10, buddy.
He's a surfer boy now.
Looks at a photo of him and looks right up at him and doesn't even recognize him. Same dude. Good disguise. Superman, the glasses. Good glasses work.
They do.
People, they do work. And they've done tests showing that
you can't recognize me now. You can't recognize me.
I look totally different with my glasses off.
Yeah, you really do.
So, she starts looking around my glasses. And, this is one of those moments. It's like, man, if they get caught, they can't shoot their way out of this. They're going to get busted.
But it's going to be a bloodbath because they won't go down without fighting, but everything goes well.
And you see the Pony Express hat? Did you see the Pony Express hat there? That was really cool. So, and then we realize where he's at. He's inside the vent. Mm-hmm. And he tries to spark a conversation. I know what this is about. It's that old lady, and misinformation, making him look dumb. He's, dude, just shut up.
It takes a while. It takes a while for his ID to be checked.
Yeah, and once the idea comes in, once it comes in, he gives them the clear to go as long as they don't find anything inside the vehicle. And the last thing they want to do is shoot law enforcement officers.
No, yeah, definitely. They don't want to do that. Because that's going to rain down another layer of hell on them.
Yep,
Yeah.
you don't want to do it. You don't want to do it. And because then they are absolutely in the wrong.
Yeah, no doubt.
But it leads to a question I pose later. And so he comes out, and then they, there we go. Back to the island. We see she was in the military too. Her in her uniform.
Yeah.
And, you know, and Constance Wu does a great job here as Katie, starting to like empathize with her subject. And that's important as a reporter that you do that.
Yeah, because this is when she tells her about how her dad came back from war with PTSD and how it all went downhill. And she was only 12 and had to defend her mom against her dad. And her motive basically behind doing what she's doing.
That's how Barbara Walters got all those great interviews, was empathizing with her subject.
Yep. I mean, empathy to a point where she's sitting there with Sean Connery, and it's like, and you're not going to ask him, like, that's okay to smack a woman? Sometimes give him a schmack.
Yeah, no problem.
No, he spoke very frankly. Got him in trouble, but he didn't care.
No.
He's fucking Sean Connery.
Different. That's a different age, man. You know?
Yep.
So now we've seen the conversation here has gone into the evening.
Hartley is willing to give her everything she wants, and she demands all her financial records and all the reports on Odin's sword. That's the code name for the mission where the seals got killed. And she's willing to give her all that. And they also she asks her right away, why did you test the drug without consent and knowledge? And she goes like, yeah, that's not how it works, because testing stuff for treating trauma works best in a blind study. So it looks like she really believed she was doing a good thing and had no idea what was really going on.
Right.
And she had to listen to them being killed. And Katie accuses her of setting up all that heavy defense outside. And she tells her she knows that Reese is coming and she has to defend herself now. So being a politician, trying to make herself look good.
So here we see the feds meeting that team again that they worked with in the mountains.
Yep.
And they're like,
they are on his side.
Help. Yep. Mm-hmm.
They are all ruining their careers here because the order is to stay down and they are not having it. They want to do the right thing.
Yeah, they're just on a training mission. That's all.
That's all. Nothing.
That's all.
They just have to
nothing to see
off
here.
The same island that
Move along.
Is at.
Nothing to see here.
We missed the scene where they find the boat that Reese's friend had set up for them, and Ben doesn't trust the guy, and then they are really surprised.
And they find the note. He sees the note. He says, once you're done with this, if you're alive, come see me.
Yeah. And he also left them weapons.
Specifically the Barrett 50 caliber sniper rifle.
50 cal, yeah.
That's not a match. So Model 92, I think.
Oh, what a nice gun. Mm.
So we just saw Katie making changes to her story. And Ben tries to talk Reese out of the plan, and he doesn't want him to go in alone and stay behind. But Reese tells him, yeah, I'm not dying alone, because he has a vision of two of his ex-military buddies who died beside him. And I was like, sometimes it's good to have hallucinations.
Right before he goes into the water, it cuts to him looking to his left, and the ghosts of his friends are sitting there with him. And they got gear on. They dive with him.
They all jump from the boat with him, but only he causes a splash in the water, of course. I thought that was a nice scene.
That was the Ryan Johnson one moment I thought was neat, was where Luke doesn't cause any traction on the sand in that stupid Jedi movie.
That was
it was the only neat moment.
You don't notice it until you watch it for the second time. You really don't notice it at first. Yeah.
Well, then I'll never see it because I'll never watch that movie a second time.
Yeah, and of course there he is, telling him, we can stop it here. We don't, we could let her do her job as a reporter.
Because they know she's there, yeah.
And that's, because he doesn't want to see any more death is really what Ben's trying to say. I'm tired, I think we're done here. We've got the bad guys.
But he has to finish his list.
Yep.
So he's going in.
This is a mission. The mission has to be completed.
So this is the finalized story that she's giving her.
This makes Hartley look like a hero.
Kind of, but she also says one last thing. I would like to just make sure that I got my
I want to make sure
of events right.
Timeline of events, and this is the whole. This is one of my favorite moments in the show
because she records everything, and she talks her into a corner because she says, "Lady, you gave me 2 stories. You realize that because in the first story, you had no idea what was going on until you saw me with Horn." And in the second story, you knew about the health issues before that San Francisco incident. So which one is true?
And in good comparison, I want to tell you, this is why I couldn't vote for Bush Sr. the second time, was once we got into the whole Contra thing and the arms deal, he's the former head of the CIA, Bush. A lot of people don't remember that.
Yeah.
Yep. And once you leave the CIA, you never really leave it. You don't, especially when you're the fucking head of the CIA. So one of 2 things here when he said that. One, either he's a fucking liar and he doesn't deserve to be the president of the United States. Or 2, he was inept at doing his job and doesn't deserve to be the president of the United States because he's an inept boob. There's no other... Really? Really?
He's shouting at me.
I didn't vote for him the second time because he put me to sleep the first time.
A lot of us were angry at him because he didn't finish the job with Saddam Hussein. That is why we ended up with that bullshit second war with him. We belonged in Afghanistan. The whole Iraq debacle. Now, I'm not saying he didn't have weapons of mass destruction, because we know he did. Intel has shown that it was there. They don't like to talk about it, but we did find it. A lot of it was old. Doesn't matter. It's still deadly. We knew he had it, but most of it ended up, the stuff that was active ended up in Syria. And we know that. The Special Forces gave us that intel. So, but anyway, I don't know what belongs meant.
She's trying to talk her way out, but Katie has her cornered. And eventually she admits that she knew about the health issues before Odin's sword. And
yeah, because that was a lie. She catches her in the lie.
Yeah.
She ambushes her and gets her good. And finally,
turns out she would have had 9 minutes and 21 seconds to abort the mission, and she didn't. And that's why she's like, okay, here's what it is.
They're soldiers.
I was willing to sacrifice them. They would have done it. And Katie's like, yeah, but you didn't ask them.
That's right. You didn't give them the option.
Yeah.
And that's what her problem is. And I get it. It's a good problem to have. A warrior should know what they're getting into. They'll do it anyway.
Yeah, but they should.
A good soldier will do it anyway. But
she went behind their backs and sacrificed them. And Katie has it all on tape now. And this is when Hartley tells her, you're not going to publish that story. You're not leaving this island.
Yep, that's it. She's going to murder her.
Yep.
And bury her on that fucking island. Or have her removed in a way that no one will ever find her. I wonder whatever happened to her. Why don't she write?
Yeah. Haven't read her stuff in a while.
And this absolutely, this is where you see how driven Katie is, like Reese is.
Yeah.
She has now put her life at jeopardy. She knows her life's in jeopardy, but she has to do her job, finish the mission.
And she's picked up all the little details that didn't line up and throws it right in her face.
Absolutely.
And she knows.
And now the mask has come off.
Yep.
And now she sees who she really is.
Yeah.
She's not power hungry. She's corrupt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's corrupt because she used the system for her own personal interests.
And Katie is furious that she just sat there listening to them killed when she could have aborted the mission before the comms went down, because she had these 9 minutes.
Yeah, because she's fully aware that mission was all about getting them killed. They needed to be killed. That's all that mission was for. There's no real mission. It was all about scrubbing or scuttling that team.
Oh, and we finally get combat here. Because Ben is being a sniper, taking out guys as Reese moves
Ben's
in.
up in Overwatch.
Yeah.
Yes.
I really would have liked to have seen what that weapon would have done to him, Rambo style. Because Rambo got that shit right of what it happens to a human being when hit by a fucking 50 caliber full metal jacket fucking round. It obliterates you. If you hit someone center mass with that rifle, they look like something from Terminator 2 where the body fell apart. You know, but now we also understand that they know Reese is there. The minute he takes the first shot, it's happening. And here we go. He's over, Ben is over for watch and he's taking people out. We got the other SEAL team, Marines and recon, Marine recon guys show up.
They see his muzzle fire and know where he is.
And so what is that?
Sorry, that's
that?
My neighbor.
Yeah, could you?
Someone's getting married on a Monday.
So great combat scene here, and it leads to another one of those little moments. First time ever in military TV and film history, he does something nobody's ever done before on a show or movie, and I caught it. Like the minute I saw it, I went back and I'm like, what the fuck? Holy shit! They showed that. This is great combat here. Now, I will point out something that bugs me. I don't see these people working for her as bad guys. I really don't.
No, they're just a security team.
Yeah, they're hired guns.
They may be mercs, but they're doing a job for a political official for running security for them. So they're really not bad guys.
Well, in my book, that makes them bad guys.
And that's one of the things that bothers me with his character is that he and Ben are killing fellow veterans, and it bugs me that they're doing their job protecting a government official, the Secretary of fucking Defense.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's it's kind of like Batman killing people, kind of thing. You don't really want to do that if you're ex-military. You don't want to take out somebody that's just trying to do their job,
Well, exactly. And that was her flashing her federal badge. Hold on.
Yeah, friendly fire scene is so
telling the security, stop shooting at us. And he takes control of the scene.
We're the fucking FBI.
You need to stand down, but they don't stand down. Instead, they end up following him up the hill. So
they team up, yeah.
Reese just killed that dude, taking out that vehicle. And he takes out these guys at the door. And once again, he's killing security for a government official. And that's my problem here. And
he kills
everyone. Right here. That scene right there.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That
he
shoulder
does
switch.
The shoulder switch.
Yep.
Yeah, beautiful.
Watch what he does here. He switches shoulders as he goes up the stairwell. Because you're taught to do that when you're going up a opposite facing stairwell. And then he switches back. Never done before on screen.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would like to point out that the security teams are the same people that Horn has. It's the same security company. So these aren't exactly good guys.
All right, they're sort of like some of those corrupt Blackwater Merc motherfuckers.
Yep.
No, all right. Looks like it.
Okay.
Now I do like this scene because when she orders them out, that guy next to the door understands this is a suicide mission. I'm not coming back.
She's in the panic room with Katie.
This
now,
is
this is a vault. Shots and she orders them out.
This is one of those vault versions of Safe Room. And that guy there, the dude up near the camera is a little more skeptical of this order. Go deal with him. The dude over there by the door is like, the dude over by the door, that guy's a soldier right there. And he He has. I'm just gonna fucking tell you, he has the best fucking death of the entire series.
Ooh, yes. Well, second best.
And it actually caused me to go
second best.
Because when he gets killed, I go, oh.
The best, dude. The best death was the guy who killed his family, whom he gutted. That was the best one.
I will not say that. No, I will say that was a good death. But when he fights Reese, hand-to-hand combat in this scene, she's got that gun. She's, it's like, am I going to try to shoot him? What am I going to do? I knew immediately what was going to happen here. This is some great combat right here. Close quarter battle tactics, CQB, mount training. Mm-hmm. He flashbangs him. I fucking love that. And the one dude, that guy that he's fighting right now, clearly Special Forces trained. Yeah. They know how to take a flashbang. Because these are the guys that throw the flashbang as they're breaching. They don't throw the flashbang and then breach. They're breaching and tossing the flashbangs. And so he's hand-to-hand fighting him now. He shoots him in the hip.
Yep.
In the waist, not the hip, the waist. Now comes that tomahawk.
Oh.
And thank God it's not on there because he puts that tomahawk right in the top of his fucking head.
In his skull, yeah.
Knocks him backwards and just brings it right down on his head. Fucking best. I'm serious. I react to it every single time because it's so realistic. I'm like, oh!
Yeah.
And now he's going into that office, And
the
he
last
tells
security
him,
guys, open it.
Hey, man, and got to tell you, Reese doesn't like this. That's what part of the reason why he has no problem killing this dude. But he kills him because the guy's still a potential threat. He has no time to flexi cuff him. Mm-hmm. So he's like, open the door. And the guy does. Drops his weapon.
Plus he's Talos, so.
Yep. And which means he's part of the problem. And then he drops him. Pop, pop, pop. 3-shot burst.
I think the guy who opens it, he still has a little hope that he might leave him alive. But... Now
you see Constance Wu just put herself. Katie just put herself between him and her.
She's trying to stop him and tells him,
I
have her confession. I have it on tape. She's done anyway. Her life is over. She's going to be dragged through the mud.
She's going to prison for what
jail.
happened.
Now, did she already tell this chick once, don't get on my list?
Yeah, he warned her too. Yeah. And it's not the first time he's pointed a weapon in her direction. Now we see just how bad this injury is. He's wounded pretty bad. We got some dark blood coming out. Thank God it's not bright red. If it's bright red, it is... it's fresh blood. That is blood going back to the heart, which can also be bad. It's also a little bit frothy, which is not a good sign. So
it doesn't come out as quickly as an arterial bleed. So he has more time in that case.
Hi, Penny.
He also gets dizzy. I guess it's the tumor again. So for a moment, it looks like he's not killing her.
And he's also considering. He's considering what she's saying. He really is.
Yeah, because she's saying justice has got this. But then he was like, I am justice now.
She brings, I know. He's Batman. She brings up the drawing. She brings up the drawing that his daughter did, that the list is on. She goes, it's done. Now you can be this guy. And she points at the dad. Go ahead, Martin.
I think I may be confusing in my memories, but I think he said earlier on the show, I don't want the guilty ones go to prison. I want them dead.
Yeah, no, he did say that. Look, he said he's justice. I am justice. He told that to that federal agent. I am justice.
I am the knight.
But his response to
all right, I'm going to pause it because we're getting ready to do this scene. It's happening. So I don't want us to be talking over this. This is important.
We have 5 minutes left. So
and this incident is so important of what's about to happen. And she just shot herself.
Yeah.
And
because
relieved him of the duty of, well, she doesn't want to go to prison.
Yeah.
She believes that he isn't going to kill her now.
Yeah, and that's why she does it, because she's not having that.
Yep. And so now the team is in there. He's gone.
Yeah.
And Constance is still alive.
And in shock over what
and
she
here we
saw.
see the Fed. He finds him.
Tony.
He follows him. And he can tell he's wounded. And he follows him to the beach. And he's like, hey, dude, turn yourself in. And
has him at gunpoint. Reese just said, I'm dead anyway.
I'm dead anyway. Fuck you. I'm leaving. Gonna go swimming. See, I got my gear. I'm gonna go swimming now.
And the team radios in and asks him, do you have visual contact with Reese? And he waits for a moment,
no.
but then
he lets him go. He lets him go.
And this is, I think, payoff that he didn't kill him back at his house.
Yeah.
And also Tony learns over the radio that the SecDef shot herself. So.
Yep. Shot herself. He didn't do it.
That has I'm guilty written all over it.
Hey, I am the law.
Oh, you went dread with it. Look out. I am the
and law. We jump
3 weeks later. And
story
sweeping reform at the Pentagon. That's something you'll never fucking ever see as a headline.
No.
It'll never happen. But I love that.
Never known about this.
Every former military guy, when they write stuff, want that, but it'll never happen.
Mm-hmm.
The Pentagon is as corrupt as any form of government.
My God, I hate those titulars that what came next shook the nation.
Yeah, I know. But they did. They got the bad guys.
And we just saw the name Oberon Analytics, and she knows.
So Reese messages her,
something.
You were right. Your story did some good.
And she lets
stop
him
looking
know.
for. And then he tells her, "Stop looking for me."
Yeah.
She goes, never.
But she feeds him this last piece of information, being that Oberon Analytics is run through a bank in Peru. Now, does that ring a bell?
Very important bit of info, because Oberon is the one thing that he couldn't find the info on, but now he knows.
He knows who Oberon
The minute
is.
she says Peru, stop looking for me, that won't happen. I love that. That's really good.
Yeah.
And of course, people go, oh, he's going to die at the end because he has that brain tumor. But if you know the books, you know that he survived.
I think there's 5 books?
And she's just a woman with a suitcase. And there's his boat down in Peru.
Yep.
And good actor, Taylor Kitsch. Fucking great role as Ben. What a great character.
I hope he gets his moment in the sun one day. I really do. He's one of the best actors I've ever watched.
What was done by him by Bob Iger.
Yeah,
and
totally screwed him.
It absolutely was Bob Iger. Mm-hmm. He screwed him with John Carter.
Yep.
Because John Carter should have been a big film. And it's a good film. It's a very good film. It is. But DC,
highly recommend it.
Disney,
we've got 4 minutes.
Yeah, I know. I can count. Okay. So now we see him on the boat. It's that moment like at the end of Shawshank where he hopes that his buddy will show up. But then again, if his buddy shows up, it's not good. And here he is.
No.
And he's like, I knew you would come. I knew this would happen. And he explains to him, he says, look, man, I was paid that money, but I've never spent a dime of it because I didn't know they were going to do what they did with your family.
Yeah.
And I felt nothing but guilt because I never knew that was going to happen. I am your friend. I gave you everything I had to help bring these guys down. But yeah, I took the money. Maybe I took it because of the money. Maybe I took it because, but he says, you were dead. I was told you were dying anyway.
Yeah,
there was no survival.
He set up Odin's sword. He fed Ben.
So you could go out with your boots on. Your team could die with their boots on.
Instead of in a hospital.
And here we go. We get to see some of the best acting from him in this role.
Yeah.
Because he delivers this scene fucking crying.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. They both
of them are broken. Both are broken.
And Ben tells him, let's finish the list because he knows his name is the last one.
And it's okay. It's okay.
Yeah, he tells him it's okay. This just killed me when I watched it.
Reese is fucking crying. That was so hard to watch. Mm-hmm. But we don't see it because we see the boat from the outside and just hear the shot, but we know.
Right.
What was happening.
I appreciated that. I appreciated that they didn't show it. I didn't want to see him die.
No.
It was even more moving like that.
And this is such a good scene, explaining everything to him.
Oh yeah, he had nothing to do with the murder of Lucy and his wife. That is important.
And all he wanted was payback for what was done.
Yeah, that's why he was on his side.
And that's the whole new tattoo.
Yeah.
He just got new ink, dedicated to everything that was just done.
Yeah.
And he's got to die. And here he goes. This is where he cries. There it is.
Yep.
Fucking tear just falls. I got to kill my best friend.
Awesome acting in that scene.
It's a great show. Best one that came out 2022. Yep. No doubt.
And the last image is of him on the boat with a map going to
back to that vision with the bird, but this time he tells his daughter that the bird is dead.
It's not coming back. It's not coming back.
They start talking about, what if you don't come back, Daddy? That was also very moving.
Yep. And then he's on the boat with the map, and we know that he's heading back down to Central South America, where he was told there are doctors that could cure him. And they do. Just let you know, when season 2 is finally greenlit, and they got to do it. This is one of the biggest things to hit Amazon, this show. And I fucking love this show. It's so well written, so well acted. The action in it is so Navy SEAL teams on the fucking set on all combat scenes. I want to thank you guys for watching the show today. Everybody in KGRA for listening, all our listeners. I want to thank Bill for producing the show today. Thank you. And I want to thank my panel here. Thanks for being here. And to my fellow veterans, I salute you. This has been Military Monday. Everybody in the chat, thank you so much. You're the best chat. I appreciate you guys being here.
You really are.
Hope you enjoyed the show. And I guess we'll see you next Monday. Past that, Chris will be here tomorrow. And then we'll be back for UFO Wednesday, Dawn and I, and then we'll have Dangerous Military Nerds in the afternoon on Wednesday. Good shows coming. Good shows. Go Cubs.